So it's time for me to start running the electrical for the addition here.
Here we go.
Yeah. Wow.
Well, hey everybody, this is Bill with Live Simple, Live Free. I'm finally ready to actually start running the wiring, the electrical here for the addition. And as I think I've mentioned several times before, the plan is this will be framed in solid because this is where the bathroom is going in the addition. And then that window right there, that's where I'm going to break through for the open doorway. Now, we are not going to put a door in there that closes, it's just going to be an open doorway. So it's getting down into the 40s now at night, like 45 last night. And so I don't want to break through that since it's going to be an open doorway. I don't want to break through that until I get this room completely insulated so that I can keep the cold out. Otherwise we'll just have this big open door open to the outside. But I can't insulate it until the wiring is done and inspected because the insulation will cover the wiring. So I got to get the wiring done, get that inspected, then I can insulate it, then I can break through that door. So that's the process. It's a big Rubik's Cube. So the first thing that I need to do here, as far as the wiring, is to take off all of this old siding to find out if there are any wires, that run underneath of here. Because since I'm going to break through there, I'm going to have to reroute any wires that are there. I hope there aren't, but there usually are. So let me tear into this now and see what we got. So this is our original outside light that was on our little porch here. And once I built this still works. It's still motion sensitive, so when we walk in the door it turns on. But when we put the addition here, now it's dark outside. So I put our new outside light, I already mounted it right here, and then I just ran this wire temporarily to right here so that we have outside light. So now that's pressure sensitive, motion sensitive, and so is this. So you walk down the sidewalk and that comes on, you walk in the door and this comes on. It's kind of cool. So now comes the moment of truth. Behind that siding there is no wood, just the tar paper here. That makes me very happy. There are no wires running across this way. So that means I have nothing that I have to reroute. So this is good news. Excellent. That makes me very happy. They have to have a staple within 6 inches of the box. And then this little metal piece here is called a cable protector. When the sheetrock is on here, you can't see where the wall is, or where the wire is. And if you should drive a nail in here for any reason, it could puncture the wire. So you have to put these cable protectors on here. So that if you try to drive a nail into the wall, that'll protect the wire. Now there's only going to be one circuit in this room because it's not that big. There's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 receptacles in a light. So this is the 4-gang switch box for the ceiling light, the outside light, this one. One of these will go to the dining room light in there, power coming from there. And then one goes up to a big spotlight I'm going to put way up in the peak of the house. So anyway, this will be the first box on the circuit. Now the electrical panel is right on the other side of this wall, inside of the corner of the kitchen. And it's very difficult to run it through this way into a corner. So I'm going to have to run it down, underneath, and then bring it up over there. So this is the first wire that brings power to the entire circuit from the box, from the panel. This will go down this way, cross onto the floor and up into here. So I'm going to have to crawl underneath through that little trap door I made to run it here, and then I have to go around to the crawl space and run it over there. It's all too tight for camera work, so I'm not going to show that, but I will be crawling on my belly in a tight spot. Down to check out the bilge pump. Just kidding. It's all good. All right, so I did bring the camera down here. That's where I have to go to. It's about 1.5 feet tall, and I gotta crawl all the way back to that corner, way back there. Just tall enough to fit my rib cage through here. Welcome to the glorious life of a construction worker. This is par for the course. As a contractor, I do this kind of thing all the time. By the way, this is the crawl space under the house, and you see it's two cinder blocks high, 16 inches. The crawl space that I made under the addition, people were worried about it being so tight. It's about 2.5 times as high as this one. It's got all kinds of room compared to this. So here's my wire coming in from the addition. And here's my hole. And there's my hole that I drilled for it to go up into right there. I'd rather push too much through here and have to cut some off and waste it than to push not enough and then I got to come back down here again and push more through. Okay, that should do it. Comes down there from the electrical panel and then it goes, runs there, right here, into the addition. And I should put a staple here, but I forgot to bring the hammer down, so oh well, I'll staple it from the other side because I got more room over there. Now I just got to get out of here. Easier said than done. So here we are inside of our cramped existing kitchen. All of this stuff. I just finished the lower cabinets in the kitchen yesterday. All of this stuff is stuff that was on the countertops and inside the cabinets that we haven't put away yet. So we haven't had use of the table while I was doing that kitchen renovation. But here is our electrical panel right here. And here's the wire that I just pulled, that I just pushed up through down there at the bottom. And this is now long enough to be able to wire it in to a circuit breaker that I'll put right here. So I got that part of it done. I need to staple this yet to the wall. So now I got this wire run over to the panel where the power comes from. Oh no, shoot. Cut this a little long, I wasted some of that. So one of my pet peeves as a contractor, especially as an electrician, is when houses don't have enough switches in them and you have to walk all the way across the room to turn the light on. I absolutely hate that. So I always put in plenty of switches whenever I can. This one is going to be eliminated. I'll just have to put a blank face on that. This one is for the outside light. That won't be there. This one is for the dining room area. So I'm going to move this one over to here. I'm actually putting 3 switches, one for the kitchen, one for the dining room area, and one for the new utility room out there. And all of these will be 3-way switches, so there'll be a switch here, there'll be a switch over there, and there'll be a switch out by the door for all of those lights, so you can control them from anywhere instead of walking all the way across the room to turn on a light. So now I'm finished with the wiring over on this side. I got the switch wires in there and there, lights in the ceiling. I got the receptacles run behind here. So now I have to do this corner. But before I can do that, I've got to build a wall. Bathroom wall is going to come out like this, straight out, and then across. The door will be here, but there will be switches inside the bathroom on this wall right here for the lights and stuff. So I have to build this wall before I can finish the wiring. So I'm going to build the door, I'm going to build the corner, and then leave out a few of the studs right here so that we can still get it in and out of the door easily. So back to carpentry. So now I've got the bathroom door built. So now you can kind of see the size of the bathroom. I've got this corner built because I had to put this electrical switch right there. And the rest of the wall right there I left out for now so that we can get in and out of the door without coming all the way out through here through the bathroom. So now I've got these 3 boxes in here by the back door. I think I've mentioned before what these are, but this one goes to the main light in the room. This one is to the outside light near the hot tub, future hot tub. And this one is to a spotlight that'll be up there that'll go out to the patio. The problem is, like I mentioned, there's not a whole lot of room here, and that's why I had to stack them like this instead of putting a 3-gang in. And I still have to staple these. They have to be stapled within within 6 inches of the box. And it's really difficult because there's no way to get a hammer in there. So I ended up nailing it in there with the hammer sideways or something. Really awkward. And then this is so close to here, I'm probably going to have to put a metal cable protector there and have it hanging over to protect this. There we go. So this is the bathroom light and exhaust fan unit. I measured it, centered it between the 2 walls. All right. Good and solid. So this is the switch for the bathroom light and exhaust fan. And I always hate it when I go into a bathroom that only has 1 switch it turns on the light and the fan, and there's no way to turn the fan off. If you're in there for a while, sometimes the fan just gets really loud and it just gets obnoxious. I like to be able to have separate controls. So I put two switches, one for the light, one for the fan. And instead of running two wires out, I just use one 12-3 wire. It's got a white and a black and a red. So the white is the common that goes to the fan, and then for the two switches, I hook black to one and red to the other, and that way it gives me to control two switches with just one wire. So now I got the three wires coming in this wire, in this cable. I've got a ground, a white, black, and red. The ground will hook to this green screw right here. And then up here, there's two white wires, which are the common. They'll go together. And then the black is the fan, and the blue is the light. So I'm going to take the two common wires from the fan and wire them into the white wire in the cable. And then the black wire from the fan goes to the black wire in the cable. And then the blue wire, which is the light, goes to the red wire in the cable. So now we've got independent control of the light here and the fan here and the common wire that goes to both, all in that 12-3 wire. Pretty cool, huh? And then the ground wire goes onto this green screw right here. And when I attach that, then the grounding wire will ground the entire metal box. Now the light and fan is all wired up and ready to go. So now I'm all finished with the wiring and I am waiting for the inspector. Well, the inspector was here and it did not pass the inspection. It's not that I did anything wrong, I just didn't do enough. See, this is the rough electrical inspection, and then they have the final at the end. For the rough electrical inspection, there's two different ways it can be done. He can inspect and see all the staples and everything, and all the wires just hanging out like this. That's one way. The other way is I strip the wires, and I have all the grounds twisted together, and all the wires are bare, just ready to put a switch right in there. I didn't know which way this inspector wanted it. So I asked my son Barry, because he does a lot of work in this area, and of course he just finished that hoarder house that he renovated not too long ago, if you've watched that. And he said this is the way he did it, and the inspector was fine with that. Well, turns out that house, though it's very local, was in another town right across the county line with a different jurisdiction and a different inspector. This inspector wants to see everything stripped and all the ground wires spliced together. So he didn't pass my rough inspection. But he said that because he saw all the wiring and everything, that I can go ahead and insulate so I can keep moving along. And then the next time he comes out, he'll just be able to see inside the boxes and see that all the ground wires are spliced together, wire nut together correctly. So it was disappointment that it didn't pass, but it's not going to stop me or slow me down. I can still progress with the work. So that's a good thing. So the next thing, installation. I hope you are enjoying this. Thanks for watching. Live simple, live free. Be blessed.